So topic for today is string values and variables and character manipulation functions and string methods. So when we are talking about string, this is character string in short, string. It is a string that is a null-terminated array of characters. So when we are talking about already a string, which is a character data type, we always see to it that it is always terminated with a backslash zero. Okay, we call it as null-terminated character. So backslash zero is at the end of the last position of the string. If we do not include a backslash zero, we cannot actually declare it as a string. It's still considered as a character data type only of an array. Okay. A new data type is now considered namely the character string, which is used to represent a sequence of characters regarded as a single data item. So if you're pertaining to a string, it's almost the same as the definition of an array, which is a single data item that has a sequence of characters. So in C++, characters held as an array of characters, one character held in each array element. In addition, a special null character represented by backslash zero is appended at the end of the string to indicate the end of the string. So string are defined as an array of characters or a pointer to a portion of memory containing ASCII characters. So take note that you already are familiar with the ASCII characters from A to Z, small letters to uppercase value of a character from A to Z. A string in C is a sequence of zero or more characters followed by a null character. So if you're going to take a look at all the definition is pertaining to the backslash zero or the sentinel string character. So take note of this, that if we're going to make use of a C string or character string, we always use the header file sharp include string. So in our case, since we are talking about and we are going to make use of dev C++, we're going to make use of C string instead of string. So let's have an example of a character string. Let's check whether this type of declaration is valid or not valid. So in this case, there are two definition or declaration of a string, okay? The first one is a declaration of an array named phrase and the other one is an array named list. So which of these two is considered as a character string? So the first one, which is phrase, is considered as a character string, but the list still remain as a character of an array or array of characters. Why? Because at the end of the phrase, which is in position 11 or the last position, there is a backslash zero. So this one is considered as a character string. While list doesn't have any backslash zero, so that means that this is just an array of character and it is not a character string. Okay, so take note, although both phrase and list are array of characters, only phrase is big enough to contain the string value. We don't care what characters are stored in the variables phrase 12 and phrase 13 because the size of the phrase is equivalent to 14 starting from 0 position up to the 13th position. Okay, we introduce below ignore characters after the backslash zero. So take note of that, class. So another declaration example of a string variable or character string variable, let's have char S1 and then we have 10, the size of the string is 10. So take note that we always use a position for the backslash zero. So that means if the size of the character string is 10, we can only include how many characters? We can only include 9 characters from A to Z and the last position from the 10th position or position 9 specifically, we need to include the backslash zero. Okay, so in that case, so for example, we want to assign a value already for the string S1. So this is the options or these are the options. Char S1 subscript only equals example double quotation mark. So this is valid. Why valid? Because we do not actually include size within the subscript. And then we count the number of characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus the backslash zero. So we do not actually put it, we do not put the backslash zero if our declaration is within the double quotation mark. Okay, so take note of that. But we always count the backslash zero. So that's all in all 9 characters and we do not put a size within the subscript, so that's valid. But here we put a size 20. So make sure that there are 19 characters, okay, and then we have the backslash 0 to count the 20. So let's count another example, including the space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, plus the backslash 0 is 16, so still accepted because the size of the declaration of S2 character string is 20. So there's still 4 spaces, okay? So if you're going to take a look at the illustration below, that's the example, the S1 and the S2. Now, if we want to declare the string, okay, during the declaration. So let's say, for example, we do not want it with a double quotation mark. We want to make it as an array of characters, but it is considered as a string, okay? So make sure that if you want to declare it like an array, okay, we declare it as the declaration char, the name of the string, the size of the string, then equal sign, and then curly braces, starting with the curly braces, ends with the curly braces. Within the curly braces is the declaration of each characters, and denoted it or enclose it with a single quotation mark separated with a comma. So this is also valid, but make sure at the end of the last part of the declaration, since this is like an array declaration, you put the backslash 0 at the end of the position of the declaration. So let's count if this is valid. Since we declare this as 14 size or size 14, so 13 is for the character and the last should be assigned to the backslash 0. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are only 12 possessions, so we still have 2 more. So this is valid. But how about this one? Again, double quotation mark without the backslash 0. So take note of the differences between the declaration with initialization. If it's double quotation mark, do not include the backslash 0. But if it's the same thing as declaration of an array, you should include the backslash 0 at the end of the possession. So here, so this is 14 or size 14. So this is counting as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 plus backslash 0 is 16. So there's no enough size for 16. It only declares 14 size of the phrase. So this is invalid. So we need to change the value of 14 to 16 to make it valid. Okay, so this one is valid, of course. If we do not include the size and we have the declaration, this is valid. Same thing as this one. If we do not declare the size of the array, okay, but we have a declaration, that's still valid. Okay, then next, car phrase 12. Okay, let's check again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So exact. That means that's still valid. So 11 characters plus the backslash 0. So that makes 12 characters. So how about the last one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's 15. Plus the backslash 0. So 16. So this is invalid because there are not enough size for accommodating the enter integer colon space and the backslash 0. So we need to change this to from 12 to 16. Now, for the input-output of a character string, we usually use puts for the output and gets for the input. Okay? And then for this, if we're going to make use of the puts and the gets, okay, we use the stdio.h, okay, or this is not actually included anymore in Visual or in Dev C++ or Bloodshed C++, but still, this one will works on IO string. Okay, so take note of that. For character string, we still can use the cout instead of the puts. Okay, and then we can use the cin.get line or cin.get to accept values for character string. We do not use cin, okay? Take note of that. Cin is only for example, a single value or an integer value or a floating point value. So what will happen if we're going to make use of cin with in a character string or in a string? What will be the differences if we use the cin.get line or cin.get? Okay, and then the cin only. Okay, so for the cin.get or cin.get line, this is the syntax. Cin.get line and then our string variable within the parentheses and the number of characters of that particular string declaration. So later on, I'm going to give you an example of that. Okay.